Recording time is too short. What the heck was that? Hello, it is your favorite internet nobody. And to those of you who celebrate, Merry X and soon Happy New. And for those of you who don't celebrate at all, Happy Friday. Today's Friday. However, there was another recording that took place on a Thursday. But it turns out I was completely off on everything. Hope you're doing well. The recording I speak of is related to the title of this video, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a game that I did not think would work for me at all. And yet, I've now played it through on Twitch, and I had an absolute blast doing so. And that's my neighbors and their dog just barking its head off. When the game was first announced, I didn't really think much about it. The gameplay did not win me over immediately. The visuals did not win me over. The story just... It's not like I stay away from adventuring games. On the contrary, I quite like them. I grew up on Indiana Jones and, X-Files and Jacques Cousteau's and, To Travel the World in 80 Days. And as a kid, I was obsessed with that. I was obsessed with ancient aliens, with deep mysteries and lost treasures. El Dorado, the Golden City, you name it. I was all about it. But now I'm older. And I sort of don't watch that stuff anymore. I don't play that stuff anymore. And again, here we are. I had a good time. I had a good time with Machine Head's kind of unexpected turn of events for them, of an interesting direction they decided to take. Those guys do the Wolfenstein games, and as far as those are concerned and I'm concerned, it's some of the best FPS you can get on level with Doom easily. So it was very surprising to me when they had to tame all of that and turn it into a game that's a bit more slow pace, a bit more exploration, a bit less violence. I wasn't expecting it. And a game inspired by a franchise that's as old as I am, maybe even older. I did not think that the return of Indiana Jones would happen in this way, for me anyway. I did not think I would hear the same soundtrack again unless I watched like an old movie or a series. I did not think I would play a video game, because I think one of the last games based off the Indiana Jones franchise is probably from the early 2000s. So it's been 20 years. You just don't expect it. Will it take the world by storm now? I don't think so. Will we see more games and a revival of this? I don't know. But yeah, it is uncanny how good the game is and how true it is to the original idea of Indiana Jones. And this is where I made a first mistake. In my first recording, I said that the game is true to a movie, but there was never the Great Circle movie. In fact, the narrative is completely original. It's set between the Lost Ark, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and another movie. So it's kind of breaching two different narratives in a way that's very faithful. The next error I made was that I said that in the game, everybody looks exactly like they did in the movies. They do not. Even though Machine Head have tried, have really pushed the envelope to make the character's likeness similar to what we've seen in the movies. The faces are in fact not that of Harrison Ford, for example, as Indiana. The voice is not Harrison Ford either. It's Troy Baker. And still, the illusion is complete, especially for somebody like me who hasn't seen anything like it or hasn't seen any Indiana Jones stuff in decades. I was deceived. Effectively so. But it's a good mistake. In fact, the conclusion of the previous video was like, oh, I want to see more of this. And now, even more so, especially given the fact that this is an original narrative, I definitely want to see more of that stuff. It's not the only game out there that bridges different movies or different books. It's not the only game that sort of expands on things in a way that makes you feel like it's a lost tape or a lost story somewhere. But it's one of those that had a very positive, strong impact on me in a very good way. The adventures take place in times of analog, in times when if you wanted to take notes, you write things down on paper using pen. If you wanted to remember stuff, you would take photos or sketches. If you wanted to message somebody, you would use telegrams. If you wanted to get places, it took a while to get to places. The physicality of the game, the analog aspect of it, the exploration of places and cultures and languages, and the revisiting of long debunked myths in a way that's captivating anyway, is I didn't think I would enjoy it as much. And I'm not one for nostalgia. I will not wax poetic about the good old bad days. I will not go and say it was better when we didn't have phones and internet. No. But in a way, there is charm to it. There is a long lost charm to it of using different tools in a different way to achieve the things you can these days achieve have at your fingertips. I think there is something to it. I think there is a good example is languages. Nowadays, you can almost real time talk to somebody in a different language using your phone. Back in the days, you would need to study a little bit. You would need to be prepared a little bit. You'd need to go someplace and live for a little while and make efforts, conscious, concerted efforts to know the stuff, to know the traditions, to know the various bows and various how to treat different people in different places, and how to you needed to understand the hierarchies, and you need to understand the history and the context of things. These days, you can just ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, and you'll get answers. Even if you don't have them, you still have Google, and if you don't have that, you'll have whatever alternative there is, and you will get things in no time. But there was a time that I remember when that wasn't the case. And again, I don't miss it, but I think some of that magic is lost. And seeing it recaptured in this way was kind of pleasant, surprising, again, from a studio that's famous for high octane, fast paced, super brutal FPS games. Yeah, this change of pace and tone and narrative is surprising in a very good way. My verdict stays the same. The game is not perfect. It's janky as heck sometimes. I played it on GeForce Now, so I cannot comment on the performance. But yeah, I played 4K ray tracing on DLSS set to balanced, I think, or quality. At 4K, GeForce Now, fine. Perfectly fine. The controller gameplay, at times a bit spotty, especially when trying to select healing items and moving between different parts of the UI. I just kept messing it up. It's just a downside of using one button for many different functions at many different contexts. That wasn't perfect. And yes, as you will see in the description of this video, for the most part, the game its story and how it was told to us was done very competently. And then there are moments when you wonder if anybody QAed at all, which, again, people have. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but it just felt that way. And unfortunately, the gamer mind slipped in, and I started abusing that. Yeah, you can genuinely abuse some of that to get quicker through some parts of the game that you find tedious and uninteresting, which is something I have a problem with FPS games. I'd rather, wipe out an entire camp and try and make my way to the center of it. Pure stealth. I was never that guy. Never will be. It's tough for me. Yeah, overall, a fantastic game. I would never have bought it had it not been for Games Pass and the fact I live stream on Twitch every now and then. I don't think I would have known. I would have missed out. But don't fear that you will miss out if you don't play it. No. Wait for a sale. Or if you get Games Pass someday to try some other games, make some time for this as well. See how it goes. You might like it. You might just like it. And let's see more of this, please. Sorry, just leveling the phone a little bit. Yeah, let's see a little bit more of this, please. Let's see more of what Machine Head did with this. Yeah, I would like that very much. I don't know where to look now. The camera is here, but that is all I have for now. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, and we will talk about games some other time.